Ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between, welcome aboard to week number 3 of the Legacy League. And as I can see, people have been a bit confused. Here is an explanation to the situation. Bloodlust versus Ico Esports is the only matchup today that won't be streamed because it's an automatic forfeit. That is the only thing that has been updated on the leaderboards. So it will be changed at the end so you can see the final scores of week number 3. I hope that cleared any suspicion or mystery around it. But welcome aboard. My name is WhoopiGG, and together with me I have the one and only TJ.
Good afternoon, or is it good evening? I don't know how time zones work. It's good afternoon. Hello, everyone.
It's people are saying that they hear me twice, so I will just. Okay, yep, there we go. I'm back at it again. So
We good,
TJ, I don't know. People say they can hear. They say better now, so it's fixed. Good. We have some interesting matchups today. The first matchup being Crisis versus I can't speak. Crisis versus Brutal Fisher. That's hard to say apparently. But what are you saying about this matchup? These two teams have been here and done their best, but what are your thoughts?
Well, as you know, with Brutal Fisher being the youngest team on the MLL right now, so there's a lot of expectation. It's also really nice to see how the team's going to grow, but it's going to have it's pretty much it's going to be it's an uphill battle. They're going up against Crisis. And as we've seen in the previous weeks, Crisis had been a pretty solid team, able to punish mistakes. And mistakes that Brutal Fisher, we have seen them been making. So it's going to be an uphill struggle, but it's going to be a good match.
Definitely. Shouldn't we just, I would like to say that we're very happy to have all of you here watching here on Legacy League TV here on Twitch. Remember, we also do have a Twitter account at Legacy League TV where you get all the news, all the updates, and all the snazzy extra material that you might be interested in. So, without further ado, TJ, how about we discuss the map draft of Crisis versus I can't speak today. Crisis versus Brutal Fisher today here in the first set.
Okay, certainly. So looking at the map draft, so Crisis have picked Brightmarsh. That'll be our game 1. They ban Fish Market, and Brutal Fisher pull out the spicy map pick. We're going to be seeing Timber Mill for the very first time on the MLO. And
you mean Timber Meme?
No, Timber Mill. Come on. Now, Woofy.
We're not started yet. It's not after first set where we do the warm up with Toto by Africa by Toto. What is going on with me?
Oh my word, he's drunk. Go home, Woofy.
I know, but I am home.
You know what I mean. Okay, yeah. So we're seeing maps that we've seen before. Brightmarsh is a pretty standard pick. I've seen it quite a bit. But Timber Mill, that's what I want to see. I want to see what... I don't know what to expect. That's what I'm trying to get at here for Timber Mill. It's been banned. It's just not been picked. It's been all but forgotten about. I was surprised I forgot this map was even in the game. That's how little we see it in any play whatsoever in MLL, in my rank games. You just don't see Timber Mill that often. So I want to see what spicy team compositions and strategies that Brutal and Crisis have got for us.
Actually, now that we talked about what they have in store for us, we can actually look at the first draft of the set. And that is definitely going to be an interesting one. That is on Brightmarsh. So let's just turn over here and look at the draft here. TJ, my boy, my partner in crime. How about you show us what the Crisis has in store for us?
The draft for Crisis, so they have gone with the Khan and Drogo span. They pick Barik, Leon, Androxus, Inara, and the Maudamba.
On the side of Brutal Fisher, we have Torvald and Willow banned, because of course you don't want any of those against you. And the picks going through are as follows: Makoa, Cassie, Charlene, Fernando, and Furia. And honestly, I really, really, really enjoy having 2 hit scans. That's something I don't see that often from Brutal Fisher. But this time around, it might just be what they need.
Yeah, I'm just having a look here at the overall compositions. It is quite rare for Makoa and Anara to be drafted on different teams. We normally see them as a combination. And looking at my little stats list for our champion picks, Makoa and Anara is one of the most lethal frontline combinations, with Makoa proudly sporting a 77% win rate, and also Inara chilling pretty with a 72%. So they're normally drafted on the same team, but both teams have managed to lock in some very high win rates and very strong meta picks for their front lines. So I just thought that was really interesting. I like the hit scan of Brutal Fisher coming out here, but we are seeing on prices
let me apologize for that. They're both blast. They're not they're not hit scan. It's on me. It's only Furia that is the hit scan. It's actually 2 hit scans and 3 projectiles on their team.
But anyway, going back over that little correction there. But I do really like what Crisis are going for here. I think Androxus is one of the stronger picks, especially on the flank. And it's just Furia is just going to have to keep an eye open behind her, as the Androxus is going to make Furia her property, hippity hoppity and all that, to keep with the memes. So it's going to be a lot of backline pressure, and it's going to be pretty sweet. So what do you make of these drafts, Wolfie?
The only thing I really believe is a strong force for Crisis is that they have disallowed Dutch to be on his Androxus. Think about that. That has been one of his most effective champions during this league. He has definitely been the supporting pillar of Brutal Fisher. And when you take off that Androxus, then they just have to really just improvise on the idea that they don't have one of his strongest champions.
No, but we've seen this tournament that Dutch is not afraid to bring out the interesting flank picks, and that Zin as well, which has been quite an issue of contention as well, as to where does Zin stands in terms of his priority and his place in team composition. So we have seen that from Dutch, and there is that very fantastic clip which we managed to record as well, but we won't go too much into that.
Why did you have to say it? Oh,
it will never be forgotten. But yeah, they are the drafts so far. So predictions, Woofy, if you can give predictions.
Well, I mean, if I gotta be honest, I do think that it's going to be pretty hard for Brutal Fisher to take it. So, in my opinion, I do think Crisis will take this one.
Yeah, as I said in the build to this game, Crisis are a team that love to punish mistakes, ones that we've seen Brutal Fisher make quite frequently in these games. But we'll let the proof of the pudding be in the eating and get into our first game of the week. Whoop whoop.
We will be right back. Give us a few minutes as we sync up and get ready for some hype matchups. Ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between, welcome aboard to game number 1 in week 3 of the Legacy League. My name is WoofyGG, and together with me, I have TJ DJ, the one and only. Let's go through to the rosters. On the side of Crisis, we have Tinkerin Berik, played by Toxie. Learn Some Brain, which is just up, playing the Death in Texas Leon. Fraza on the Hits Will Roll and Druxus. Snoofy on the Mother's Gracie Nara, and Snost playing Spirit's Chosen Maldamba. What about you, TJ?
On the red team, we have Brutal Fisher, Al Dummy playing Leviathan Makoa, Neptune the Blue with the Impulse Cassie, Dutch Knight playing Recurve, Charlene, Fake Zob with the Scorch Fernando, and Paranormal Farah with the Solar Blessing Fioria as the fight is breaking out.
Over on the small houses, we see some poke damage happening here from Learn Some Brain, really controlling Neptune. He will get Solar Blessing fired though. And Snoofy is right now on the point, and this is one of those mistakes that we have mentioned before in the league. Never ignore the Inara on the point, and just as well, Toxie and Snoofy gets 2 eliminations.
Yeah, not really sure what's happening here for Brutal Fisher. So Parallel Pharaoh is going to go down. The support is dead. This is a lost cause in terms of the point. You know, 99%, absolutely no contest from Brutal Fisher, and you know, we've seen it before. We've seen Inara just literally walk straight onto the point, and Brutal Fisher just not able to push up. But Crisis have got the point, and Brutal Fisher need to defend here. Aldummy coming under a lot of fire, having to shell spin out of there as Fraz just keeping up the pressure. Snoofy as well on this left side going through the lab. Yeah, Brutal Fisher aren't really in a position to contest right now.
Fraza pushing a little bit onto Fake Sod as he goes low and has to charge out of the fight. He is really holding up the fort here for his team as they push the payload towards conversion. Neptune goes down, make that a double kill for Learn Some Brain as the Enlightenment plays perfectly onto Dutch. Now with Aldummy only all by himself there, it's only going to be another kill for the side of Crisis.
It's the feels bad, man. When you're the front line, you drop down onto Bright Marsh, and you're the last one left as they corral you into that corner and just beat you down. But it's going to be Crisis with an exceptionally clean push right now. Everyone on the side of Crisis has got an elimination streak. They have not died yet.
It's just the undying army going on here for Crisis. They have hold up straight. They have been positioning themselves to pretty much the best they could, and they are standing on the top of the net worth chains, and the damage is just all over the place for Crisis. It's very hard for Brutal Fisher to turn this around, but I do think they can do it because that's what they're best at, comebacks.
Yeah, Brutal Fisher just need. I want to see aggression here. You can't allow that Inara to stay on point and capture 61% completely uncontested. I want to see an engage. You have the Inflames, you've got the Heat Haze, put a bit of pressure. Poke damage onto Learn Some Brain here. He's having to back off immediately, but will be healed. But Snoofy is still on the point. Aldummy's starting to move towards it. He's not going to be able to find a hook. There's the Inflames. But is it all for naught as 2 people fall down? Does not just get the return kill onto Snoofy and Fraza make a double kill. But still, it's a 3-for-2 trade in favor of Crisis. Wow.
Well, Dutch Knight finally actually picked up a kill, yeah. And that was definitely the opening they needed now. Brutal Fisher are standing strong on the point with Aldummy. But it does look to be that Aldummy wants to go somewhere else because the point is not his concern. Para will be there to take over for him, and Learn Some Brain will destroy Neptune. Make that 2 with Para going down to Toxie and Snoofy taking down Dutch Knight. Fixot is also going down. They're all going down, and Crisis takes the point as prominently as they could.
Aldummy there on the Makoa. You know, going into the backline, he really wanted that support dead. But you know, you make all that, you made that space, you get rid of the support, and the support's not in the fight. But then it just goes all wrong for Brutal Fisher. They aren't able to really utilize that. And they end up near enough getting team-wiped because Aldummy has to reset himself and jump off the map, so to give him a good chance at defense here. But Crisis have already pushed it up over halfway. Just trying to get a kill onto Fraza. But Snoopy on this Inara is being tenacious.
Tenacious is the word, and it's also durable, because remember, the Stone Warden will never die. But Fixot will definitely be one to die here to learn some brain. The whole side of Crisis are pushing Brutal Fisher back. They are right now just being punched in the gut, pretty much. The Dome Shield plays, though, to keep them off the point. Everything goes Crisis' way, and they take win number 1.
I mean, we have to call it as we see it. And Crisis just do Crisis things. That was near flawless game, to be honest. Well, apart from a couple of deaths, but 4-0 in an incredibly quick time as well. Brutal Fisher are not able to put up really any other defense. There was that glimmer of hope when Dutch Knight popped off, getting a triple kill with the Charlene. There were glimpses there of hope of what Brutal Fisher can do, but it's just the experience from Crisis to say, okay, guys, let's just regroup, let's reset, and push on. And that really showed for Crisis.
There's actually one thing I would like to, that I noticed. I don't know if you noticed, but when Brutal Fisher finally got the point, they didn't try to keep it. They rather tried to push up on the enemy instead of focusing on the point when they were behind. And I do think at that point, Owl should have just stayed on the point and waited for his teammates to arrive so they could work around the point. But he pushed out and got caught in an Inara. You don't like being caught in an Inara. That's not something you want. When you finally get Inara off the point, then you need to keep her away from you, not close to you.
Yeah, but in order to keep Inara away from you, you have to push up. You have to be aggressive. I like that. I like what I'm seeing there, Brutal Fisher. It's just not enough, though. Like, you can't afford to, especially in that game, you would not be able to afford to just sit back and let Crisis regroup, let them get their positioning, and then get the communication going, and then pull the trigger. You can't allow Crisis to do that. You have to push up. You have to zone. Unfortunately, Brutal Fisher just not able to execute that correctly, and Crisis quite rightly so punished them. But it's encouraging. Encouraging. They're getting there, but it's just not enough yet. I want to see him get the first win, Woofy. I want to see him get the first win.
I mean, don't you think I want that too? I mean, I'm kind of the owner of the team, but but yeah, let's just please get us a win now that we're going into the most. It's the memes, it's the dreams. It is Timber Mill for game number 2. Oh, how I've waited for this moment.
It's gonna take something completely out of the box to try and just give a little glimmer of hope. I mean, you only really, in my opinion, you only pick Timber Mill as your map when either A, you want to troll your opposition, or B, you have a game plan. You know exactly what you want to do. You know the composition you want to run, and you have practiced it to hell. That's why you would pick Timber Mill, and I hope it's a combination of both.
Yeah, but let's look at the draft over on the side of Crisis. They chose to ban out the Leon and the Torvald while picking Makoa, Inara, Kinessa, Cassie, and Maldamba. And this is actually in order. This is in the correct ban and pick order. So this is very interesting to see how they managed to wait with the damage dealers until later.
Yeah, on the side of Brutal Fisher, we are seeing the Khan and the Willow ban again. Khan is just not getting any play today so far. Strix, Ying, Evie, Ash, and the Fernando will round up the team composition for Brutal Fisher. So they have the sniper, and it's Timbermill is a good map for Evie. It really supports teams that want to champions that are able to be more mobile, able to use high ground, able to fly around, high mobility. It really suits them. So that's why I like the Eevee pickup here for Brutal Fisher. That being said, though, Crisis, they have drafted the strongest frontline combination we have in the MLL when looking at stats and all of that. They've got a Kinessa, and Kinessa v Strix is an interesting matchup.
I mean, just I just see red flags all over the place, when the nuclear reactor is about to burn down and you're just looking at 2 buttons and one button says pick so enemy gets Inara and Makoa, and the other one is at least pick one of them. And they're just, what do we do here? Because that's red flags. You don't allow those 2 together. That's a nasty combo. And it's Timber Mill. It's not where you can just go and go to the point as easily. It's not as easy. So they've practically gone into a bit of a death trap. But we do have the EV for Neptune. I'm sure it's going to be Neptune. There's no doubt about that. So I actually expect a lot of him, because that is one of his most prominent champions he has in his champion pool. So I do actually think Brutal Fisher will be able to give a good fight to Crisis this time.
Yeah, just going by what we've seen these past couple of weeks, it seems everything is on the shoulders of Neptune and Dutch Knight to actually pop off. That's what we saw last game. We're looking to them. They are the linchpins for this team, and if they can have the right amount of influence in the game and actually make the plays happen, then, as you say, Brutal Fisher can put up a fight. And I really hope Brutal Fisher have got a game plan for this map, because it is a weird one. It is a weird one.
I do believe, honestly, that this is one of those times where you just think, why not? They have nothing to lose. Brutal Fisher are right now at 8th place with 2 points. They can only win something out of whatever they try. This is a really good, actually, this is one of the best battlegrounds for Brutal Fisher right now, because it's so many strong teams that they have to improvise how to improve upon every single set. And they're doing that, so we gotta give them credit for picking maps that are outside of meta.
Yeah, we have to see innovation. We have to see curveballs, because as we've been casting these games, we have to call it in a straight up 5v5 fight with these other teams. Brutal Fisher just aren't cut out for it. So they have to innovate. They have to say, okay, we're not going to play by the rules anymore. No. We're going to pick off meta maps and go for unorthodox champions and hopefully try and wrong foot the opposition. And I like it. I like that. I like that spirit. That's what I want to see. Come on, guys, get your first win. Get your first win.
Yeah, Woo! They should get their first win here, as they have one heck of a composition. But we gotta hold on to their Hajime no Ippo and take a short break, as we will return with game number 2 of Crisis versus Brutal Fisher. You're watching the Legacy League Season 1 with GG and TJ DJ as your casters. Remember, shout out to Jay for the lovely league that has been created. GGJ. See you soon. Greetings, everybody, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between, to game number 2 between Crisis and Brutal Fisher here in the good old times of the Legacy League, week number 3. TJ, let's hear the roster here in Brutal Fisher.
Certainly, Brutal Fisher are your team in blue. Dutch Knight is going to be playing an unauthorized use of the Strix. Fake Zod with the Fortress Breaker Ash. Neptune the blue, playing Wormhole Eevee. Paranormal Pharaoh with the Life Exchange Ying, and our dummy on the Scorch Fernando.
On the side of Crisis, we have Mother's Crazy Nara, Fraza playing the Eagle Eye Kinessa, Leviathan Makoa by Snoofy, and that sounded like a rap album or something, but yeah. Snust with the Spirit's Chosen Maldamba, and Impulse Cassie played by Lonesome Brain. Aldami already in trouble, he is getting low, he puts up his shield, and we have a pause as I am not sure why, but 1 second later, I was very sure that Aldami would have been taken down there because he was in trouble.
Yeah, Snoofy hitting the hook there onto the Fernando. It's just going to make life an absolute misery, to be honest. It's going to be interesting to see how Brutal Fisher are going to play around it. As you say, we rattle on a lot about the importance of this frontline duo, but it's true. And if you've been watching week 1, if you've been watching week 2, or just any competitive Paladins tournament, it's Makoa and Inara being these dominant frontline meta champions that everyone wants to pick.
Well, right now, if we look at the positioning of the team right now, like Toxie and Snoofy, they are like right next to each other. They are ready to help in any kind of situation if Fakesart has any smart plans. But I do like that Fake has actually chosen the Fortress Breaker. I would have I was worried that it would go with the battering ram, but it was the Fortress Breaker. And the reason why I like it is because it makes him able to push without being too aggressive. He can push defensively. And that's something only Ash is capable of.
And also the splash damage there is going to help, especially teams that are going to be grouping up, or if we're going to be seeing, just taking out those damn pesky illusions. But no, Ash is out, and you're on the same team. Well done, TJ. Thank you for paying attention. Good night, Vienna. But I don't know. I mean, Fortress Breaker is nice and all, but we are playing on Timber Mill. I'm a personal favorite of the Slug Shot, but we are getting back into game here. And am I right in saying that Snoofy was able to get behind the front lines? He's in a very aggressive position. But Neptune of Blue is going to get first blood here on Lonesome Brain. A little bit of poke damage, a little bit of a killing blow there. But even with a numbers advantage, Crisis still have point control, 75% to 0.
There's only Fakesart on the point, really, to take care of things, because Owl is being pressured out into a corner, doing a little bit of poke damage, not really doing much, and Crisis takes the point without much of a challenge.
Can we just point out that Fraz just got a quadra kill and nearly got the pentakill already? Damn, son! This Kinessa, I mean, it's Timber Mill. It's like Kinessa's favorite map right now, or just snipers in general. Fraz, can we keep having plays like that for a highlight reel, please? Thank you very much.
Fraza is in a little bit of trouble, but Snoofy comes and helps him get rid of Neptune. And in the backline, we have good old pressure all around. Fraza is sniping, and the others are fragging. It's just a full-on... This is a carnival of kills when it comes to Crisis. But they do actually get some return kills here on Brutal Fisher.
Yeah, only the one return kill, though. But it's not a worth trade, because Brutal Fisher have just been aced. A bit delayed, but all 5 were dead at the same time. And that impasse feels bad for the Ash, who wants to shoulder bash onto the point. Crisis push successfully, and under 3 minutes, they are already 2-0 up and on the home stretch to take away all the points for this week.
Oh, lordy, this is... I mean... It hurts a little bit inside when I see Kinessa, because when I play my games and play against a Kinessa in my ranked games, this is the situation that happens. This is the exact thing that makes Kinessa so scary. her damage output and sustained damage is so high. And with a guy like Fraser just hitting every shot, I simply have to look at his build right now. He has Reconfigure 2, Open Season 2, Prodigy 5, Quickscope 3, and Calibrate 3. Not a bad... That's actually a pretty good build here, working for Fraser in his favor.
Yeah, and also, as you say, just hitting the shots being the most important part of the build. Going here into the second point fire, Dread Serpent is being thrown down. He's got a bit of space created, but Brutal Fisher, they have point control for the first time in this point. They're able to get 90%, but it's still in favor of Crisis right now. Frontline Jewel, they're on the point. As said, dominance being used by Fake Zod. Toski is in a little bit of a sticky situation. Has to run away. There's the Temporal Rift has been opened as Brutal Fisher are in the ascendancy now and engaging the fight. Blur to Bray and Toski have both fallen. And here comes Makoa having to make something happen on the point. He's got to trigger that Ancient Mage, buy a bit of time, but has got 4 people focusing here. Makoa, you are not long for this world, but Brutal Fisher, fantastic start right now. RW popping the Immortal to extend the team fight. Here come Crisis, though. They're not very happy about that, Brutal Fisher.
They don't like it, and they don't want it. But the overtime will say something else. Seismic Crash plays down here, getting a hold onto Paranormal Pharaoh in the end. We have Fraser just frazzing away, getting Fake Zod, and also Owl Dummy. The teamwork of Crisis is at its peak, and once again, they take it all back into their own hands.
99%. We were so close as Dutch Knight is going to fall to the hook, and also the disengage from Cassie there. An interesting interaction on the hook if that was captured on stream. But Crisis once again hold this point. I've got to give props to Brutal Fisher. That was a fantastic team fight in their favor, and they got so close. Oh my word. But we must focus on them now. Neptune Blue is going to die there. The hook landing and the ice block is not going to save you. Crisis able to push this point towards the halfway mark. Not really much contest so far by Brutal Fisher. Paranormal Pharaoh doing best just to keep everyone topped up on the Ying.
Well, Fraser just said goodbye to Dutch Knight as he got him very effectively. Fraser continuing on with getting Neptune to Blue with the help of Learn Some Brain. Fake Zod and Owl Dummy are all up in the business of Crisis. They don't like them being there, and so forth. They go, and they take it all home with the kills.
They fall like dominoes. And yeah, Toski is just waiting there with the impasse, trying to capture Ash. He wants to shoulder bash on the point, but Crisis do Crisis things. They will take all the points in their match against Brutal Fisher. They take the set 2-0.
Well, it's another day in the league, another week, and of course, I know I said around week 4. That means that they have a week to win a set for me, else I am full of, hot air.
Salt.
Full of hot air.
Salt.
Because I said that they would win by week 4. They have at least won a set. So, I will believe in them with my entire being. I will believe in them.
We can believe.
Yes.
We can believe. And it was just watching it as Cassie, you're trying to be unbiased, but it's like, I really want Brutal Fisher. I was so happy when they won that team fight, able to push up, and it's got 99% on the points. Like, yes, guys, come on, you got this. But we have to be impartial, and credit once again to Crisis. Even with Brutal Fisher trying to flat foot them, trying to take you onto an out of meta map, Crisis say, yeah, this ain't working for us. We still got this, and they once again take a dominating 4-0 victory.
It was impressive to see how consistent they've become, because I remember in week 1 and 2 they were a little bit they were not as efficient as they are now. They've definitely improved a lot during this, and really proven to everyone that there's a reason why they are here in the Legacy League. They have been showing up, and I'm very happy to see them improving over time. They've definitely been pulling out the shots. But
yeah, looking at their previous games, week 1 going up against Bloodlust, which no one wants that opening game, to be honest. No one wants that opening set to be drawn against Bloodlust in week 1. But they took that in their stride and said, okay, this is not us. They lost against Bloodlust. They lost both matches in that set, and it's like, this is not the team. This is not us as a team. This set does not represent us and what we want to achieve. And we saw that in week 2 when they took both games off Leviathan. No, they didn't. Ignore me.
Well, if you're ever in doubt about the standings, you can look at our eSportspedia page. It will be shown in by Nightbot if you are ever interested in knowing about the stats of each week. But now we're talking about this week. And this week
let's talk about this week.
Yeah, let's do that, because I know we are the sidetrack brothers of Destiny. We're good at sidetracking, and we do it with pride. So let's just go into matchup number 2, which is one I have been personally very excited for.
It is the Battle of the Serpents, Wolfie. It's the Battle of the Serpents.
Well, a sea serpent versus a dragon, well, it works in my favor. I like this. Let's go into the map draft here with the Leviathan versus ID, and I love this. This is actually my most favorite picks that has happened in the league so far when it comes to map picks. I enjoy both maps so much, like Stone Keep and Serpent Beach. Thank you.
Yeah, so just to finalize here, so Leviathan are going to be picking Serpent Beach for game 1. Their ban is Ascension Peak, and it's the Infested Dragons who are going to be picking Stone Keep for game 2, and their ban is Frozen Guard, and I want to really see Frozen Guard, but not today, it seems. But yeah, they are our map picks. So again, Wolfie really likes this. I also really like this as well. Stone Keep being one of my favorite maps. Not quite up there with Ice Mines, but I'm just really weird like that. But Stone Keep, is a fantastic map, and Serpent Beach as well. So 2 quite differing styles of maps here. So I want to see what Leviathan and ID have got cooked up for us as they prepared for this week. Let's go into drafts, Wolfie.
Yes, of course, but I'm a little bit afraid of this draft because it scares me. And do you know why? There is a new face in the crowd.
New face in the crowd.
Sorry, I just had to.
Okay, sure. I mean, is he the new face in the crowd? He has already been picked this season. He was picked in week 1.
That doesn't matter. He still has a beautiful face that has gotten a little bit of a,
what happened to you, Victor? What happened? Anyway, so first draft here between ID and Leviathan. Let's go through these picks. So on the side of ID, they have Bandaway, Inara, and Torvald. Their picks are Androxus, Drogos, Ash, Fioria, and the Fernando.
Just when you thought you were the sexiest person here, I show up.
What's happening on Leviathan?
On Leviathan side, they are just saying, hello, Khan. Oh yeah, bye, Khan. Because we don't want Khan to happen in any games this entire league. But yeah, they have banned the Khan and the Lian, and going through with the picks, Makoa, Cassie, Barrick, Victor, and Maldumba. That is, I really like this. I really like what they've put up here, because people underestimate Barrick. I'm just saying, they're underestimating Barrick. You should pick him in way more compositions than you're doing now. No matter which team it is, I don't care. Even PBL teams, or wherever they are, all teams should pick more Barrick, because he's a dwarf, he's cool, he's awesome. He needs more attention.
I mean, I'll just take the high road about this with Barrick, and yeah, he is just a frontline that sort of fits in with whatever composition you want to run. Like, if you ever find yourself in a problem where it's like, okay, guys, we need a frontline, we've not drafted one, and we need one right now, we've not worked anything out. Barrick, get Barrick in, and it will just work. Like, Barrick is a staple frontline. He's He's neither overpowered or underpowered. He's just a solid pick. He will do his job. What I do find interesting about this draft is the Leon ban on the side of Leviathan. I find it interesting.
Well, I mean, if we look at it objectively, like champion-wise, I see what you mean. But then think about Infected Dragons. They actually don't only have one, they actually have 2 players that are pretty decent on Leon. And could pull off some problems for a Leviathan. So, and it's Serpent Beach. Do you really like auto-aim abilities hitting you on a map like this?
No, I don't. But I mean, ID are going to respond perfectly with the if they're going to ban away the auto aim, then just take the Drogos. You know, you've taken out one of Drogos' most annoying counter picks in the game, so you know, it's sort of like, you know, just Drogos has got the green flag and pick him in. So yeah, it probably is a respect ban, but also as well, Death and Taxes, it's one of the strongest means of early game quarterize. Like, you take Death and Taxes, that's quarterize free from the first minute. Not even that, the first second.
No.
Well, you just have it.
Yeah, you're just getting
You
it
just
for free.
have it. It's there. Yeah,
that's kind of the same thing.
1,800 crystals, 1,800 credits worth of items in one talent. Like, that is mad.
Where did you get those amounts of crystals? I'm just asking you from a friend.
I hate payday, all right? Okay, so Woofy, I believe before we get into this next game, your predictions for the set, please, my good sir.
When we talk about it, then will just, you know, I'm all in on ID. Completely in on ID. Like, I love their draft to the end of the world. They have Furia, one of my favorite supports that are so strong and so prominent when it comes to healing tanks. They have 2 tanks that are both very effective at controlling a point. They have Drogos to push people away, and they have Androxus that was the direct counter to Drogos to actually go against that set problem. So it's just, for me, that seems like one of those drafts where you're like, we got everything we wanted.
Yeah, and it's going to be Luds on that Drogos more than likely as well, and we've seen him.
Nerf Luds.
Nerf Luds. That's what the takeaway from where we see Luds on this Drogos. Also on a map like Serpent Beach as well. So this is going to be particularly spicy. My predictions for this set, before we load in, looking at this, I couldn't really separate these teams, to be honest. Like, whenever I thought of one reason why ID would take this, it's like, oh, wait, but Leviathan do this. Okay, Leviathan going to take this, but ID are also doing this. So I've got this set down as a draw. I think these teams are going to cancel each other out over these 2 games. As for who's going to win this game, ID. Looking at these drafts, I think ID will take this game, and then by default, Leviathan take next game. But we shall let the teams show us that and hopefully prove me correct. Please.
You want to see the trial by combat.
I want to see blood. I want to see combat. So let's go into game 2.
Definitely.
Set 2.
Set 2 of week 3. This is the Legacy League right here on Legacy League TV. My name is WoofyGG, and your co-caster here is the real TJ. See you very soon. Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between to game number 1 between Infected Dragons and Leviathan Esports here in the Legacy League, week number 3. Let's go through to the rosters, and TJ, get us through Leviathan.
Leviathan your team are in the blue. We have Lord Pleb playing the Spirits, Chosen, Mount Dumbo, Dalgard playing the Tinkering Barrack, Tired, you and me both, brother, playing the Firefighter, Victor, Noak with the Exaction, Cassie, and Leviathan McCullough played by Quite Like a Duck.
On the side of the Infected Dragons, we have Lutz on the Heads Will Roll, Androxus, Fortress Breaker, Ash played by Cacpro, Jagex on Scorch Fernando, Ojali on Solar Blessing Furia, and Bojan Toddy on the Combustible Drogos. And already right off the bat, we have Dalgid holding on to the point, effectively fighting off even 3 members of Infected Dragons with prowess.
Yeah, so Infected Dragons trying to set up on this fountain area, but there's a lot of low health bars. Sorry, Bojan Toshi looking pretty low as Cacpro is going to fall, and first blood goes over to Tide. He's going to pick a double kill onto both front lines, and Leviathan are going to move on to the point. Lutz having to back off here on the right side. Tired's going to throw those grenades and force it out. Bojan Toshi a bit forced out as well, but so far it is all Leviathan as this point looks to be theirs. But right ID, say no!
ID is already trying to contest the point, giving a little bit of pressure onto the fray with Cacpro, trying his very best to hold off Lord Pleb. He will definitely not be an ally they want alive on their team. So, with 90% capture rate for the side of Leviathan, they really need to pull themselves together over on Infected Dragons to be able to push in. And with the overtime ticking, it's only a matter of time before a capture happens.
Yeah, Ash was just able to get through, but there's the barrage already has been charging. Cacpro is so low on point. Trade of kills for both teams. 2 for 1 in favor of Leviathan right now. As Ojali goes down, there goes support. Fernando should not be long for this one. Let's try to make plays happen with the cursed arm. Getting the are tired, but it's not going to be enough. Leviathan have control at this point, and they will capture it through the overtime.
That was really effective plays by Leviathan. I'm very impressed by the amount of coordination that happened there. There was not a single moment where an ally was in too much trouble. And that was definitely what they pulled off right there. Pushing already almost halfway through already within only 3 minutes. Leviathan, they're looking strong.
Yeah, the frontliners for Leviathan just have so much, just a really, what's one look for? It's just a reliable escape tool. You've got the rocket boots, and that's also going to keep you the shield, where that build is very popular with Barrack. And then you also have the shell spin as well with the shell shield. Yeah, ID are being pressured right now. The Immortal has to come up by Jaeger here, forcing away. Reference getting a bit of damage onto the point, and it does work out. Lord Pleb will fall. Noah goes down. Lutz getting the kill onto Tide. That's 3 quick kills in succession. Quite like a duck. He's going back to the spawn. There is Lutz to pick up the final kill, and Leviathan find himself aced at ID's choke point.
Well, as we were discussing earlier before before the game started, like, you know, Toto, Hold the Line, that was definitely the song playing in Lutz's head right there. He was holding the line and getting 3 kills. And now he's even gonna continue here over on the right side, dealing a bit of damage to Quack Like a Duck and Dalgid. But they are holding strong with their shields, and now they're back on the payload just as well.
No, Jaeger's going down here. Bojan Totti going in, looking for a trade kill to just even things up, and with a nice 180 to get more damage. A double kill, Bojan Totti. Does he need nerfing, Woofy? But Noak is going to get a double kill onto both Lutz and Bojan Totti, so maybe Noak is the one who needs being nerfed. But ID are still holding strong here. Leviathan on the way back to the point, and respawn advantage is in favor of ID right now. They're all back and grouped up. Leviathan on the way. This is just very back and forth. As soon as one team looks to be getting an advantage, all of a sudden it's a clutch play by Lutz. It's a clutch play by Noak. It's, you know, and also just a hook onto Lutz. Like, it's just so back and forth. I love it. I love it.
This is, like, as I said, stop! Can you please stop tilting the living, yeah, okay, never mind for that. We will take that in private. But, no, that sounds so serious. But right now we have Jagex holding strong, getting all members of Leviathan low, giving a lot of pressure onto the field. And with the assert dominance activated by Cacpro, he will pretty much lose it immediately as I Quack Like a Duck plays like a monster right now.
Yeah, Lutz surging forward, able to get the overtime. Jagex is back and he has his ult support ready. There's the Immortal, 4 quick kills for ID. And it's going to be enough. They defend successfully. That overtime was quick. Lutz, I believe that was a double kill on the end as the kill feed just fades away. That was a double kill, yeah. I was thinking,
it was.
Wow, is that triple? But,
it's incredible. Yeah, nerf lots again.
Nerf lots. Okay,
but seriously,
a bit of a game pause right now. So let's just calm down. Let's just digest. What are we seeing?
That's what I told you from the beginning. Crisis. Sorry. Infected Dragons. My bad. Infected Dragons are a team that I see improve steadily over time. And right now, they are really showing that the Leviathan and Infected Dragons are both at the same level. Because else, this would have been a completely different situation. Every time, as you mentioned, every time Leviathan made a good play, it was countered by Infected Dragons as a counter to their counter. This is like the eternal, like, it's a clockwork. This is a clockwork of Paladins.
Interesting phrase of putting it. But they're cancelling each other out, which is what I see when I think of, when I was like trying to predict how this set would go. And it's like, they're just cancelling each other out. And we're seeing it here. It's beautiful ballet of some sort here between the two teams. But we're going into the second point fight. This is 1 6 minutes in, and still pretty much even right now as Cacpro is moving on to the point, and he's going to have a bit of a frontline duel here with Dalgard playing on that barrack.
Dalgard will definitely not go down to Potenton. Yes, the Dragon Punch was out of range. Dalgard, my boy. I am so proud of you for just running around with those rocket boots of yours. Tired gets a kill onto Cacpro, and Jagex is now pulled back into the backline by the aggression of the Victor. This is why you pick Victor. He has so much pressure going on for him. And Leviathan are holding strong on the point.
Yeah, Nelk is going to overstay his welcome down on the left side. Going to fall to the Fire Spit combo by Bertans who... He's done a pretty solid job onto this Drogo. So we're going to ignore the Dragon's Fury as Yates is going to fall too tired. A bit of a trade here going on, but Liz is able to escape. There goes both frontline stove for ID. Cacpro falling as well. Actually gets a return to kill onto Dalgard, and Lord Pleb is finding himself in a bit of a tight spot under pressure by Lutz. He's hit by a 5-split combo, and there is the finishing blow by Lutz as he dashes around, never stepping like a madman. But I Quack Like a Duck is saying, stop it. Just stop it. Getting the kill. No, with a double kill onto the backside of that, getting the Leviathan another objective capture as their front lines are so low.
I mean, look at it this way. This is what Leviathan has been doing ever since the beginning. Their pressure game is on point, and Tired and I Quack Like a Duck are both really holding strong. They're pushing the payload together and actually being the top of the food chain when it comes to kills on their side. But I do think Infected Dragons will be able to hold strong against this. As I said, that Lutz goes down. I'm sorry.
Cancel the casters, but yeah, it is a kill going on to Lutz. Yates is finding himself a bit low, gonna not pop the Immortal there. He's gonna hold on to it. Bertans just keeping the poke damage down from his lofty position there in the high ground as he flies away looking for position. But Leviathan keeping this payload going. ID pushed back, then wanting to regroup and getting ready for the point back. So Juliet is going to come off on the respawn, but Leviathan still pushing it. It's now nearly 95%. Cacpro is going to be Solar Blessing healed up, but low health bars on the front lines of Leviathan. And that's going to be the go-ahead here for ID to engage the fight. Lutz finds himself on a back end of a lot of damage. He gets healed up by the Solar Blessing as they contest this point. It is so close to being converted, but ID are not letting it go without a fight.
Fight for it, they will, as I Crack Like a Duck is trying to push up to the payload, but is stopped by Bojin Toddy all the time. He is forced back by the immense priority of their side. They're prioritizing the right targets, and that is definitely helping them in their push. And now they got Lutz. Lutz got down, but Cacpro, well, say goodbye to Akasi.
Yeah, look at those health bars though. Tide was he's on less than less than 200 HP. Dalgard as well found himself in a low spot as well. But it was the hook onto Lud, so he didn't have really that pressure onto the background to get the finishing blows. And it just allows Leviathan to regroup. Dalgard once again getting very low. Jaeger's pushing forward. Scorch Fireball still being a bit of a nuisance. Running back towards the Solar Blessing is going to be healed back up. No, looking for a flank onto this right side near the stairs. Mashing with his other damage dealer in Tired to lay down as much damage as humanly possible. Both shields have been thrown up by the side of ID as overtime is ticking on. Dalgard is very low. Are Leviathan going to commit any ultimates to this point? We do not know. It looks to be they're going to back off here. The health bars are too low as Lutz surges into the back. I'm guessing we have odds are tired, and there goes Dalgard. Infested Dragons are going to defend successfully. And it's a nice double kill on the back end of that as well. With Lord Pleasant falling down to Cacpro on this Ashe.
117k damage from Tired.
I'm not surprised.
That's all I have to say. This is why they picked him. This is such a strong pick for them. They have been able to whittle down both a Fernando and an Ashe as if they were made out of paper. But that's not really the conversation here. The conversation here is that both teams are countering each other constantly. This is one of those very close games that we've wanted for quite some time, and we have it right here.
It is a back and forward, back and forward, back and forward. But yeah, we've got another game pause here, and again, we're pretty much even right now. So looking at the teams, Leviathan have got the majority of their ults available. The only ultimates missing on the side of Infected Dragons are the Immortal, but we've seen Jaeger how quick he is charging that ultimate. So it may as well not even be on cooldown. It's pretty much just a standard part of his ability with a very, solid cooldown. And again, we've also got these certain dominance. Cacpro getting himself a 5 elimination streak as well. I've been really impressed by Cacpro's Ashe. I just want to give it a little shout out. I love the aggressive plays. Like assert dominance, yes, it's a defensive ultimate, but when it's used to just the sheer gap closing you have from that ult when you activate it, the leap is quite amazing. But in that fight, when the overtime ticks, the assert dominance was used by Cacpro to launch himself forwards and get him in a position on the long sight lines to just rain down damage onto the damage dealers, and that's how we got the double kill. And it really is a joy to watch. That's how I like to play Ashe, and that's just how I like Ashe being played in general. I want more aggressive Ashe. I love it.
Well, that's what she's good. That's Ashe in a nutshell. Just going into the fray and yelling into the faces of the people that she's close to. She has been a really strong champion this entire league, which I'm very happy about. It's one of my favorite front lines due to the amount of pressure, as you mentioned. Like, you can both use her ult defensively, but also offensively, where you can push up, close a gap, and be immortal for the duration as you're trying to hunt down targets. So,
the only downside to that is you're playing against the counter to Ashe, Makoa. And it's like, I'm going to create a zone where I am immune to all damage and you'll hook straight out of it. It's like, yeah, no zone for you anymore. And that's what we saw in the very first point defense for ID. So, the assert dominance came in, and that was when Cacpro was very low. And Makoa, just a pretty, we know what Ashe is going to be. Like, she's going to be in that zone. So it's quite an easy hook to hit because you know where she's going to be. And it's like, yeah, no, you're dead right now. But
goodbye.
Yeah, goodbye indeed. But yeah, it's just, this is a fantastic example of teams countering each other out. They're cancelling each other out. And it's great. This is a really close game, and it is actually really fun to cast.
This might actually, if I'm thinking about the level of skill, I think this is the tightest match we've had in Season 1 so far. There is so much back and forth, and both of them have strong compositions that they can counter each other with. And it's so nice to see, finally, where it's not so much of a snowball. There isn't any snowballing happening. I mean, even if you look at net worth, it is such a small margin between the top and the bottom. It's a small, small margin.
Yes, it is. But there is one point of concern if I was on the side of ID, and that is that even how close this game is, Leviathan have captured both points. And how do we win Paladins? You captured a point. So that's the only point where ID have to say, okay, guys, we need to... Because their defense is fine. Like, the Kai's been pushed a long way, but they can prove that they are able to defend. It's this point capture, which is what they need to work on. And hopefully let's see if ID can utilize this very well. But Leviathan already take control of the point with Bannock sitting quite pretty on the point.
The pretty dwarf is pretty on the point. He is where he needs to be. He's mining that gold. And with a barrage here from Tired, he's trying to get a hold on to Lutz, but Lutz, oh, the man, the legend, gets a perfect cursed arm off and gets a hold on to Tired.
Yeah, Dome Shield is thrown down here by Dalgid. There's the Immortal just to keep the team fight going, and Flames was used very well. Virtual Toss getting a kill onto Noah, and Infected Dragons are in the ascendancy right now. Yeah, this is going to find himself very low, but Fortress Breaker Ash will get him out of dodge. Lutz is going to pick up that kill onto Icrack with a dunk, make that a double kill onto the front line. He's so low, and Tide is going to clean up that kill, but ID have got point control. 78% to 48. Yeah, it's going to be pressured out by the Cassie, and a certain dominance to get the killing blow onto Tired. I love that about the Ashel. But ID, they did it. Thank you for proving my point. They have the point. And now let's see if Leviathan can defend as well as we've seen Infected Dragons do.
You fulfilled the prophecy. You were the prophet going like, I see an attack coming this way. And that's what happened. Bojantati here up on the right is trying to counter. Nauke is definitely dealing a lot of hurt. And with a barrage following up from the side of Leviathan, it doesn't really do anything but just reset the fight a little bit.
Well, that barrage in the Ancient Rage is going to take down Lutz, actually. And there goes Bojantati as well. So two critical members for the side of Leviathan. Jaeger is going to suffer the embarrassment of being staggered. And ID are going to have to wait their turn to mount another attack here. But yeah, Leviathan are going to just regroup, reset, and get their position ready as the second wave of this raid boss that is Infected Dragons is on the way.
Yeah, it is definitely a raid, if you could call it that, because they are hunting each other as if they have some personal issues against each other. This is not a game anymore. This is war.
This is the realm, Woofy. This is the realm.
This is the realm. What happens in the realm stays in the realm. And as you can see here with the contest on the point, Lutz and Jagex are trying to hold off the fort over on the right side. Lutz doing a good reversal here to try to get out of the fray in due time. The heals are just not enough. And I Quack Like a Duck gets a hold on to him.
Yes, and once again, we're seeing Leviathan able to hold this initial choke, but something that ID was not in position to do. Low health bars onto the damage dealers, but they both run into that quarter to be topped up. Jaeger is finding himself extremely low and pressure, has to back out here as a hook comes through by Quack Like a Duck, and that is the death sentence for Jaeger. Capro is not, he's just going to decide, yeah, I'm not going through that doorway. Not with I Quack Like a Duck on that hook. I Quack Like a Duck on that hook duty. That's some good rhyming.
It's just, nope, I'm out of here. And as they pull back, this is the time where Infected Dragons are trying to push through. With 8 seconds left, they need to go out and touch the point, and they have CAC to do so. Let's see if a nice initiation will happen here from ID. They need one good initiation, and that's all they need. Bojantati pulling out the salvo and only scouting with it so far. Now, okay, going into the fray here against Lutz and Bojan, and Lutz will definitely take off. Now, okay, with the help of Bojan. Bojan is still safe, pulling off some weight, but nope, he's gonna get hooked on a feeling. getting solar blessed as well. I Quack Like a Duck will go down to the Dragon Punch. And there's only Lord Pleb here to help with the fray. And that's not gonna happen. Say goodbye, Lord Pleb.
Now, as the boys down in flames is used, there goes the Immortal as well. A cursed arm onto the front line. Lutz is going to never step around, and the barrage coming down out of desperation. But ID keep the push going. It's only I Quack Like a Duck left on the point. Has to channel that ancient rage just to keep himself going. Lord Pleb gets the kill onto Lutz. So that is one of the key members down the side of ID. And Leviathan decides to regroup. They have respawn. They have priority here. As Cat Pro is going to assert dominance and just delay the point, but I Quite Like a Duck says, no, you shall not go in that zone. Hooked it out. Cat Pro falls. Bojo and Totti will go down as well. It's only Jaeger really alive on this point. As Ojali is going to fall. Noke is now on the flank. He's on a rampage, picking up the double kill onto Lutz. Jaeger is now left, and there goes the Fernando. We're going to 3-3, lads. Woo!
Can we get like a second to breathe, you two? Can we get a second to breathe? Thank you.
Oh my god.
Look at this. This is I love to see these numbers. I'm a number nerd, and even though I don't like math, but that's another deal altogether. But 11-7-11 from I Quack Like a Duck. He has definitely been pulling off to make everything easier for everybody else on Leviathan. He is definitely the least worried. He's the one you worry the least about on Leviathan right now. Tired is holding up strong. Now K is dealing damage, and like I Quack Like a Duck, he's getting those hooks every time. You don't have a certain dominance in your kit anymore. I'm sorry.
No, but it really does seem like that. But we're going into the final point fight here. This match has lasted 17 minutes and 50 seconds, and it's not got any chance to stop him. But we must declare a winner here. There's no draws in Paladins in the individual games, but we do have in the MLL. Noke is going to try and get some damage onto Lutz, who will never step away. Capro is on the point. But Totti very low. It falls to the grenade from Tide, and Noke is going to push forward onto Ojale, who is very weak. Gets that kill onto the support, and ID are going to collapse with that kill. Lutz goes down, but will trade his life with no. Okay, and there goes Cat Pro. Leviathan have control of the point as ID are aced.
Aced all over the place. They have been holding off, and right now they're even dismounting over on the high ground. They don't feel like they can follow the words of a wise old man.
Lutz going through into this backline here. Capro going onto the point. Dread Serpent is used to try and keep Ash away from the point, but 96% in favor of Leviathan. I Quack Like a Duck falls to Bojo and Totti. Lutz will trade his life with no K. It's currently a 4-4. There is the dome shield for both front lines on the side of IDR towards this point. Dalged is holding it off fantastically. Jaeger's doing his best, but Noke is coming in clutch with a double kill. Tide picking up the kill onto Capro. Dalged gets killed to Jaeger. And we can finally breathe because Leviathan will take the victory 4-3 in an incredibly close game.
You know, you know that feeling when you're like, I cannot breathe and I don't know why. This is a different kind of situation. It is, I cannot breathe and I know why. Because these two teams, oh boy. And you hold up on the aggression. This is two aggressive teams playing aggressively about being aggressive because the others are aggressive. This is exactly what I want to see in Paladins.
No, that was a fantastic Paladins game. That was a blast to cast. I loved it. But game what? This is only game one, Woofy. This is game one.
I know.
And we got more of this, and it's gonna be awesome.
We're gonna have another. I'm so sure it's gonna be just as close. I will have no doubt in my mind that it will be just as close. So let's pull up the draft of game number 2 here between Leviathan and Infected Dragons on the legendary Stone Keep.
So, Stonekeep draft. So we're going to go for ID. They have banned away Inara and Torvald, their picks being the Drogos once again, Fernando, Ash, the Mandamba, and we're seeing Vivian. Not really damage that we see a lot of in the MLL, but she is currently sitting pretty with, I believe, if I just move Discord out of the way. We've seen Vivian twice in the league and is sitting pretty with a 100% win rate whenever she is picked. But how are Leviathan going to deal with the Vivian, Wolfie?
Well, they banned out the Khan again because Khan, he's sat in the corner of shame, like, go over there. You don't deserve to be in this league. Go over there. And then following up with Makoa. So that's two very strong. It's only frontlines being banned this game. I love it. It's like Stonekeep means, no, we don't like frontlines. So the picks going through are Leon, Barrick, Cassie, Furia, and Willow. And Willow, that is the conversation. If you are against a Vivian, how do you counter Vivian? Have someone that can definitely just say, you might have a shield now, but I have anti-heal on you, and I can go rigger.
Yeah, it's kind of like with Vivian, you need to close that gap. You can't allow her to free fire. You just can't allow her to do that. And Stonekeep is a fantastic map for Vivian because there's so many medium to long range sight lines, especially into the initial point, around the choke points and the archway, and also on defense as well. You just sit at that statue, put your shield up, and then hold down the right click.
Hold it down! Hold it down! They're holding it up, and that's gonna be a very interesting match here in the Legacy League. You're watching week number 3 here on Legacy League TV. It is live and ready to go. My name is Wolfie GG, and our co-caster is TJ DJ. See you very soon for game number 2 of this matchup between Leviathan and Infected Dragons. See you soon. Ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between, welcome aboard to game number 2 between Infected Dragons and Leviathan Esports here in the Legacy League, week number 3. Let's go through to the rosters. TJ, give us that Infected roster draft.
Infected Dragons are your team on blue side. Bojan Totti, you're playing Combustible Drogos. Ojali with the Spirit's Chosen Maldamba. Lutz playing Sapper Rounds. Vivian. Jagex with the Scorch. Fernando. And Catpro on the Fortress Breaker. Ash.
On the side of Leviathan, we have Daljet on the Tinkerin Berg. Tired on the Nightshade Willow. We have I Quack Like a Dog on the Impulse Cassie, which is weird because we're used to seeing him on front lines. Now, okay, on the Death and Taxes, Leon, and Loplep on the Solar Blessing Furia. I don't know. The Barrack voice is stuck with me. But, oh, yeah, Barrack. But this is actually really quick reactions here from the side of Infected Dragons. They already have some capture rate, and they're grouping up on Castle, taking it all by themselves. This is their territory now.
Yeah, not really what we see a lot of on Stone Keep. So, you know, the castle is where most of the action takes place, especially on that first and second point fight. But Leviathan decided to go through the church area on the right side, allowing ID to gain control of this area. But yeah, that was Catpro on the point, getting a bit of contest at the start. But at the moment, it's all Leviathan right now. Catpro going down. Quite like a duck loses his life. Darkin gets a double kill. Both front lines are down, and Ojali will fall as that dead zone is going to be particularly nasty. Leviathan with a very quick capture to begin things off as they go 1-0 up.
This is... oh, tired. I can't stop talking about you. You are a master of deception and evil intent. Because here on the Willow, he has been pushing buttons of... frustration, as he has been countering every single heal that could be happening, which was maybe why they took the church route, to make sure that they wouldn't be too focused by tired. But it's already pushed 50% through towards conversion. Oh, the humanity.
Now, made out 60% here. Bojan Totti is going to fall to no case. So the Leon getting through there with Drogos. So Drogos is going to have a pretty difficult game going against Leon. Also, like, Leviathan's draft here is just meant to frustrate ID. You've got Leon that's going to make life and living hell for the Drogos. Vivian's going to be pressured out constantly. Dresden coming down here onto the point. So actually loses his life. So does Bojan Totti. Jargon is the only one who trades. But Leviathan have already captured the point so quickly. It's only Jagex and Catpro really alive for ID, holding it off as Catpro gets killed onto Lord Pleb. There goes Noge. Ty gets return kills onto Lutz, and Jagex Catpro is the only one left. I quite like a duck picking up that kill onto the other front line. But Leviathan have to back away.
Bojan Totti was really pulling off the shots there. He was making sure that the whole side was controlled up on right, on the high ground. And now they're even pushing up. Catpro also did a really nice kill there that opened up the whole fray. And he also got a hold on to Loud Pleb now. Lutz getting a hold on to Nauke. That's really essential picks to push forward. Now with Lutz having his Sentinels are ready to go, so he can actually just activate them, which happens right now. So Fayflight versus the Sentinels. Who will win that engagement?
Yeah, Lutz wants you to say hello to his little friends, as Willow is going to be anti-aircraft fired upon by Lutz, but a lot of pressure. There's the Seedlings that just one tap Ojali. There goes the support, and there goes Catpro as well. So one front line and one support immediately down before the point fight even begins. Tide is focused out by Lutz, and Jagex is just throwing a shield up like, please, no more. Let me get healing, as Jagex will finally go down, leaving Lutz to have to get a bit of pressure on the point. Catpro is there, but Lutz loses his life, and Leviathan keep the pain train going. Catpro asserting dominance to keep the point fight going, but at the moment it is all Leviathan right now.
The overtime is still ticking. They're holding on strong on the side of Infected Dragons, but I don't see Catpro doing any knockbacks with the kinetic burst, and that is going to be the mistake that makes the conversion happen for Leviathan.
4 quick kills onto the side of Infected Dragons. This is the complete opposite of what we saw in game 1. And right now, at this point in the last game, we're still at 1-0, and Leviathan are pushing into ID, and ID are still defending right now. But in game 2, we're already 2-0 up for Leviathan, an exceptionally strong start. And just the hope here is that ID, now they have combat mechanic, are going to put up a little bit more of a fight and just show us more of what we saw last game.
Round number 2 has hereby begun, with Leviathan in the lead, having 600 credits more than the enemy team per player. Jagex is getting countered here already in the Cathedral, and he says goodbye to this cruel world. Lutz as well goes down to I Quack like a duck. Now K and I Quack are both pulling off some really essential picks. Bojan Toddy also very pressured. He won't be safe for long. Ojili as well. That's 4 out of 5, folks. That's all, folks.
Damn, these references, Ruffy, please. But yeah, Leviathan are in a dominating position right now. ID are pushed all the way back into their courtyard. Capro will shoulder bash forward, try to get a little bit of overtime, but it's just going to be melted. Lordblab getting the killing blow onto that. Bojan Totti taking down Dargood, but will trade his life for Tired. Oh, well, Lutz, error 505. Vivian is not found. I literally just switched over to watch Vivian's perspective, and she's just gone instantly. Evaporated by the seedlings. The blast shot by Cassie. That's just way too much damage, and ID find himself once again and push all the way back.
With Tired right now over on the left side, he is pushing back Jagex. He will not push forward. There is no way he will have any pressure happening here today. Tired will make sure of that. The Flutter getting out of the fray and turning over to his teammates that need some help with CAC Pro. This is the last. This might actually be the last push that can get the win in the back. So that's why they're pulling off the aggression in such a quick manner.
Yeah, Leviathan keeping going here. It's ID can't really poke. They can't peek. They can't get damage down because it's just being focused down by Noke, by Tired. Those dead zones, as I said at the start, this is draft just meant to frustrate the enemy team. ID have already lost 3 players down. There goes Capro to make it 4. Leviathan are in position here to make this a clean 4-0 sweep, as Jagex is not long for this. Well, Leviathan completes their victory and will take all the points this week with a 4-0 victory on Stonekeep.
Okay.
I wasn't expecting that.
Nope. Like, this was as if we saw 2 entirely different team matchups. I think it was due to the drafting when it came down to it, more than anything, because it is a very, very tough map to really have the composition they did. Like, they were lacking, as you said, they had so much damage on Leviathan, it was really hard to counter.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the draft here. Like, what we saw in game 1 was the damage dealer, like Lutz and Bojan Totti, had so much room to maneuver to actually get the fire spit combos down, allow Lutz to get into that background when he's playing Androxus. He's not playing it this time. But that was because Leviathan didn't really have any counters to what they were doing per se. Like, not hard counters. But looking into this game, they have Leon, they have Cassie, and they have Willow. So what we saw in that game was Bojan wasn't able to wasn't able to boost himself up and get a fire spit combo down because he's met immediately by auto aim shots. He's met by the Cassie, who's okay on that Cassie. Can we just get a shout out, please? Because he had a phenomenal set. In both games, his accuracy was fantastic, and it just meant Bojan Totti couldn't do anything. Same again with Lutz. Lutz wasn't. We said at the start, you deal with a Vivian, you don't allow her to set up on that sightline, and when you're being constantly pressured and poked out by Willow and Leon and Cassie, it's just not going to happen. So this is just a game that was pretty much decided in the draft, really.
Yeah, you could, like, they could maybe outplay the draft disadvantage, but it just didn't happen. They were spreading out when they should gather. They got a bit frazzled by the amount of pressure from Tired, and they actually feared it so much that they forgot about the rest of the team. As you saw, like in the beginning, they were just stuck inside church because they were afraid that Tired would hit them from above.
Not so much that. I mean, from what we've seen in game one, we know these teams are evenly matched. So this is just an example of how just getting that draft right, getting a counter picks and going in with a game plan, which is what Leviathan did. And, at the end of the day, you win a game by capturing the points, but it's the draft that sets you up for it. And with how Leviathan had drafted, they were playing with a stacked deck. They held all the cards in a way. They had the advantage. And ID, even though we know these teams are evenly matched, it was just the strength of the draft that came through. And that is what was the final nail in the coffin.
Thank you so much. How about we go into what we would call the set to watch that we're going into this time around. This is the third and yes, this is the set of the week. Definitely a very interesting matchup, a very strong matchup happening here, which will be Fate versus Yazoo. This is the last set of today's matchup since the automatic forfeit of Ico from week 3. So let's just look at the map draft, Teach, and give me your spicy details on what you think of this draft.
Absolutely. So, Fate have opted to pick Frog Isle for game 1. They will ban away the Stone Keep and Shazoo. It wouldn't be a Paladins tournament without a game on Jaguar Falls. And Shazoo are going to ensure that game 2 will be played on Jaguar Falls. They ban away Serpent Beach.
And Shazoo, well, I like that Shazoo bans the Serpent Beach because I've seen them play on that map, and it seems that not necessarily it's a map that is not favorable for them. It's more that their drafts aren't made around that map. That's not the map they want to play if they want to have a strong matchup, especially against Fate that I would think are really strong on maps like Serpent Beach. So I think it's actually a respect ban of map when it comes down to it.
Yeah, with when you're playing on teams, there are maps that suit your playstyle and there are maps that don't. And with this ban, we're thinking, it's probably a respect ban. It's possibly one of Fate's stronger maps, but we don't know information about scrims or what goes on behind closed doors. We only know what we see here on stream. So we can only speculate about these bans. I find map bans are somewhat more difficult to speculate on because it's like, as I said, is it a respect ban? Is it a playstyle difference? We don't really know, and we don't ever get to really see it because it's banned. But we're going to focus on the here and now. We have our map picks for the final game. Let's go to Draft Swaffy for the final time.
Well. I agree with that notion. Here we have the Frog Isle pick, where the draft's over on the Fate Esports. I like this. Kinessa being banned, we don't like Kinessa. We saw that on Timbermill. Not fun to play against. And Karn as well. Karn will be staying in his little cell. But the picks being Willow, Makoa, Ying, Androxus, and Ash.
On the side of Shazoo, they have banned away Vivian and Leon, and will counter the draft with and not. Okay, I think that is a slight mistake in the draft because Leon has been picked and also banned.
Oh, yeah.
That's a mistake on our part. We can only apologize for that. But we have an Inara, a Cassie, Furia, and the Fernando.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we made a mistake.
I figured it out.
Yeah. We made a boo-boo. We're sorry.
We made boo-boo. Yes. But yeah, what do you think about these drafts? And to make people entirely sure about the bans that actually went through for this map. For this map, it was Fate banning Khan and Drogos, and Shazoo banning Vivian and Torvald. So there we go.
That's Jake. Are you sure about that?
Can you just tell me the predictions, please?
Yeah, okay, we'll go.
Thank you.
We best this up. Okay, so looking at how Fate has been playing over these past few weeks, and also how they performed in the ESL Magistrates Cup, which we had the pleasure of casting, they've just gone, strength to strength to strength. Shazoo, as well, being one of these teams as well, they have both improved dramatically throughout the course of this tournament. It's been really awesome to watch, and there's a reason we're calling this the set of the week.
Yeah.
But my prediction is, I think Jay's going to be very happy with this. I am going for a Fate victory in this. They're going to take this set to 2-0.
You believe the full set will be in Fate's favor? That's I will actually say that it will be the first draw of today.
Oh, okay.
I believe that both teams are on the same level, and they will definitely pull out some interesting strats and interesting setups. But with no further ado, we will take a short break and return to you with the first map with Fate Esports versus Shazoo. My name is WooferGG, and your co-caster is the real TJDJ. You're watching the Legacy League week number 3. See you soon. Ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between, welcome to game number 1 between Fate Esports and Shazoo here in Legacy League Week 3. Let's go through to the rosters. Over on the side of Shazoo, we have Apple Daddy on the Life Exchanging, Moa on the Leviathan, Makoa, Midnight May on the Mother's Grace, Inara, Aztec on the Heads Will Roll, Androxus and Maeve on the Wormhole Eevee.
On the side of Fate Esports /Y, playing the Unoffice, use Strix and Dromius with Field Study, Torvald, Lentry with the Fortress Breaker Ash, Bloxer with Combustible Drogos, and Chubby Plum will, I imagine, be using the Spirits Chosen. We do have a game pause, so we did the intro very quickly, but we can actually breathe and just break it down a little bit more. So yeah, but a bit of a nightmare, but we are here. This is everything's set. We're good.
Everything's set.
Go.
We're good.
To go.
We're good.
It is the set of the week.
It's the last and it is the one that actually will shape the like after this set. The whole leaderboards are switched around. So many things will be changed, and it is the Spirits Chosen going through for the Chubby Plum, the one and only. The fight is hereby begun over on the veranda. A little bit of pressure and a good Dredge Anchor connecting onto Lentry. Now Moa is on the point, controlling the field. And Maeve, he goes into some trouble known as Silence.
Yeah, that's playing any sort of flank into the Torvald. So anyone who does play flanks know that that is not a very, very fun thing to do. But yeah, another Dredge Anchor landing onto the Torvald there. And he's not really got much means of getting out, but he will recharge his shield. But Shazoo currently have control of the point. This is the map where we saw Shazoo take the game off the Ludless, so they are very, very familiar with this map. Impasse is going to block Chubby Plum getting onto the points, but not for too long. He eventually gets through and triggers the overtime as Androxus is in the back line, Aztec trying to get a bit of damage onto the Drogos. Kills coming in through. There goes Midnight May. /Y will trade his life though with Aztec, who loses to Aztec. Blocks that entry. He's going to be taken down by Apple Daddy. It's a 2-for-2 trade. The moment 3-for-3 on the point, but at the moment it is Fate that comes out on top because they have control of the points. My Dredge Anchor going on to Andromius, who's going to try and retreat and get that shield recharged.
With overtime ticking right now, it's very important that the Dredge Anchor will. The Dread Serpent will connect, and it does, rightfully so. Aztec going down. Maeve does get a counter kill, though, and with the overtime taking with it, and the Drummond is so low, he's just gonna be poked down, and Ancient Rage will do its work. I really like what Shazoo are doing here. They capture, and they do it with a composition of no damage dealers. There's only flanks.
That is absolutely true, but we've seen what Maeve can do on this Eevee, especially on Frog Isle. We're going back to the Bloodlust game because that was a fantastic game and really showcased. Like, when that draft goes through, we were sort of like, Eevee, okay, sure, maybe this is like some strategy, but I was like, yeah, this is easy. This is easy. This is Eevee, by the way, yeah. This just happens for Shazoo. But yeah, the point's being pushed through. Kill onto the support, finishing mode by Aztec there. As you say, it is 2 flanks as opposed to any traditional damage dealers. But when again it kills, it doesn't matter what role you're playing. As Moa gets a double kill, Moa getting another kill there. And Fate are just too staggered as the pain train keeps rolling for Shazoo. Chubby Plum is keeping that point going. And Fate are trapped in their spawn. And it's going to be a successful push for Shazoo in 3 minutes and 50 seconds.
I'm just gonna say one word. Ouch.
Yeah.
This
pain train.
Yeah, that was a pain train indeed. Moa, do you know that Moa, he's 7-0-2?
Makoa, hello?
Makoa, hello? You're not a damage dealer. Can you stop playing like one?
As I said, who needs damage dealers when the roles are just getting kills? You don't need them. And this is just great by Shazoo and a very, very dominating start. But let's not count Fate out. Combat mechanic, you've got 4 ultimates, and that Malduma Dread Serpent is on its way There you got Hyper Beam, the Flashbang, the not Ancient Rage, sorry, you got the Dragon's Fury, and he said Dominance. So Fate have the tools at their disposal to claw back this point. But Slash1 is going to start off that point essentially well by getting killed onto Aztec. He tries to flank him. The Set Dominus used. There goes the Dread Serpent to buy a bit of time on some point. Slash1 very aggressively positioned here, getting some kills down. Ying has to open the Temporal Rift just to keep her front lines alive. But there's a Hyper Beam as well to push Shizou back even further.
Aztec in the backline getting a hold on to Andromeus. He was so low, but he survives nonetheless. Moa, though, in the backline getting Lentry. Slash1 gets Apple Daddy, but it's still just Sue's game. They're still holding strong on the payload, and Maeve is jumping in with a massive effort here. The Dragon Punch is coming, and Midnight May feels the pain.
Midnight May accepting the death there, just stood still like, yeah, I'm not one for this world anymore. But yeah, Andromeus with an exceptionally clutch silence onto Maeve as he tried to go into the backline. Getting a kill there. So Bloxo and Lentry getting kills onto Aztec and Moa. Lentry will get traded by Moa. Enough silence coming through by Andromeus, taking down Maeve, and its Fate are in control right now. Nara is the only one left, but she is not long for this world. Goes down to Bloxer. It is all Fate as they capture the point of Shizou and flip this game on its head. We have a game on our hands, folks.
Shielded. We have a shielded Slash1 here, getting healed up and ready to mingle and mangle once again. He wanna get Moa, but Lentry helps getting that through. But Aztec and Midnight are answering truthfully, with Andromeus and Slash1 going down to a Stone Warden and a Godslayer. So with 2 minutes left on the payload clock, they pretty much have a good chance of converting this.
Yeah, Bloxer was just a little caught out there under the window and going up against Aztecs and Androxus, which, as we know, Androxus into Drogos. That's not a fun matchup for the Drogos because Andro just closes the gap. Chubby Plum is under a bit of fire, having to use his sliver just to make himself untargetable. Dreadshank connects onto Lentry, forcing him back. Bloxer gets the kill onto Midnight May. May falls into the backline, trying to get a kill, but is silenced immediately and is taken down. But that doesn't stop Shizou answering back. Aztec and Moa getting kills with that double kill for Moa before he's taken out by Andromeus. But Chubby Plum and Bloxer fall. It is a trade in favor of Fate right now.
Fate are holding very, very strong, and Shizou answered in a really aggressive fashion, but he didn't do much else because there was still the like the majority of Fate was still alive and could reset. And with 2 kills happening here for Fate, they're just gonna push up now. Dread Serpent available as well. It is placed. The Chubby Plum, the Plum of Justice of Chubby Cheeks, gets a hold onto 2 enemies right there. That is what we like to see from a support, all over the place and helping the team get some wins.
I mean, I called it the Shizou pain train, but this is the Fate pain train right now. They're keeping Shizou staggered, they're keeping them forced back. It's like, okay, you just did it to us, so we're gonna do it to you. Dreadjack is gonna connect onto Andromeus. Silence going down, but he's very low. Chubby Plum doing his best to keep him alive. Andromeus is still alive before he eventually falls to Midnight May. But meanwhile, while that goes on, 3 kills go in favor of Fate. Moa, Aztec, and Midnight May fall into Slash1, Lentry, and Bloxer, respectively. Fate keeping the move going. There's only 2 members of Shizou left. Make that 1 is the support, and that's going to be a successful capture and push for Fate. And we're back on level terms.
I want to look at the build of Slash1 because he has really been using those flares effectively, and of course he has Flare XL at 5. He wants those reveals to happen, and it lasts 3 seconds more because of the overburn. Grizzled, Cool Max, and Relentless. I really like this build on the Strix. It makes him able to help his team know where the enemy is, and he has definitely been proving that has been effective.
Yeah, knowledge is power, definitely being the kind of the underpinning line really of this game. And also Sinjaz as well with the unauthorized use, but another point fight is breaking out. Shazoo at the moment have control, Aztec pushing forward, but Fate are grouped up onto this windowsill. Blocks are unable really to get any damage down. There goes the Hyper Beam. Aztec's going to be forced all the way back and will be healed as the Temple Rift is open once again to top up the lines. Midnight Maeve goes flying because of the combustible. But this is a kill as Apple Daddy and Aztec fall in trade for Lentry going down to Moa.
Bloxer is doing Drogo's things and counters Midnight May. Moa gets a hold on to Chubby Plum, but it's not a big help because the whole side of Fate are still holding strong as they have retaken the point. Aztec is the only one able to hold the fort down, and he won't be able to.
Yeah, but Fate keep on pushing up here. Shazoo are finding themselves on the back foot. Aztec pushing forward. There's Maeve buying the overtime, but Apple Daddy will fall. The support is down, and Dromius goes as well, so the supporting off-tank falls. But at the moment, it's Fate are going to use this though, as Aztec, Moa, Midnight May, and Maeve all four. It is a quad. It is 4 kills, a quadra of kills, not for one person, but for the whole team. And Fate have this third point. It is 3-2, and they're looking to go for the push for the win.
Slashwine, 14, 4, and 14. This is the power of experience, folks. He has been in the game for a long time, and he's definitely showing his true colors here against Yasu. Such a strong team, getting a hold onto one by one. Every single one of them are at his mercy. The Accursed Arm is activated, not getting any kills. A bit of a shame there, but at the same time, we have Bloxer getting hooked into trouble, and that was really the opening sequence of an upcoming symphony here for the side of Shazoo.
It is a symphony of destruction. Slashwine, Chubby Plum, and Drobius all falling as Shazoo getting that pick onto Aztec. And it's like, oh, not Aztec, sorry. Oh, Lentry. For suffering the humiliation of getting yourself staggered by an extra 4 seconds. But 1 minute 20 on the clock as another Dredge Anchor onto Bloxer. Maeve picking up the killing blow there. And it's just more staggering by the side of Shazoo. Fates have to wait. They have to buy the time. Bloxer are not going to find a hook there. Go for the cheeky jump shot over the stage. Slashwine does get the kill onto Moa though, so Fate find themselves in the advantage and pushing forward here as there is a Hyper Beam used.
Hyper Beam and all over the place kills are happening for the side of Fate. They just gathered up. That Hyper Beam opened up the fray for good old Torvald. This is why there's a talent called Thanks Grandpa, because he's definitely the nice old man that helps his grandchildren. He has definitely helped them push on, and over on jungle, we see Bloxer in trouble. He will go down to Moa. The Seismic Crash activated as well, together with the Illusory Rift. Now with Maeve jumping in, trying to get a hold onto the situation in the backline with Slashwine. He is getting shielded, but Andromeus goes down to Midnight May and Maeve, and the whole team are working together, and there we go. Getting 4 out of 5.
It is a delayed ace. Blocks are pushing forward, and it's like, no thanks. You can have this defense, guys. But he will pay for it with his life, question mark?
No!
Yeah. He will pay for it with his life as a bow will pick up the killing blow. But we are at another 3-3 here this week. Some very close games. We've sort of had the spectrum of games, really, right now. We've had from domination and just clean 4-0 sweeps to just grinding back and forth. We've had it all. It really has been a roller coaster this week.
This week is known as the burrito. So see what I did there? The burrito of esports. This is just such an interesting. It has been interesting sets this week compared to, like, this is the most exciting sets we've had in the Legacy League. So watching these two teams duke it out in such a fashion is just a joy to watch. But we start with Moa doing a brilliant Dredge Anchor. It doesn't get Slashwine though. It was close too, but you know the saying, sure close, but no cigar.
Yeah, and it's Fate able to turn around the engage. Bloxer, that fire spit combo just put too much damage for Shizou, and they lost the support immediately at the start of that fight, and it's just going to go downhill from there, to be honest. But Fate able to push up. Shizou started this game so strong, but they find themselves with time ticking against them. 42% to 12, with Fate currently in control. Ancient Range is available for Moa. They do have that option, but there's also a certain dominance on Lentry. But those ultimates are coming up. Dread Serpent on 80%, the Hyper Beam 72. Fight continuing right now. Fate still have control, 87%, 90%. There goes Moa onto the point. He's going to activate the Ancient Rage, trying to go down on Dromius. Dread kills Aztec and Apple Daddy. Going to get killed for Fate and be killed as Lentry goes down. But Fate's still in control. And Dromius is still alive on this point.
Choppy!
Grandpa is still alive, but Moa with a double kill will silence him. And Apple Daddy picking up that kill onto Bloxer, meaning this is a Shizou area right now. No Fate is allowed as they push up and try and stall out the advance on Fate, but they have left it close, 36% to 66.
They gotta get there now or never. Lentry trying his best to hold up the Fortress Breaker shield to make himself able to touch the point in time. And there was a Dragon Punch from Bloxer that got immediately countered by Maeve going into the ice block. The overtime is ticking and there's only Midnight May. He is at the mercy of the whole side of Fate Esports. Apple Daddy going down, and there we go. Take another trip down memory lane, Midnight May, as you are done. Fate Esports takes game number 1 against Shizou.
Can we breathe, please?
No, we are not allowed to. It's in our contract that we are not allowed to.
No, but these are some intense games going on right now. It really is a fantastic joy to cast them. And that was just a fantastic game. Just a bit of a word of what happened on the end. It was just the Ashe got through. Just one person was able to get through, and it just sowed the seeds of discourse on the sides of Shizou. And that was sort of their undoing, really, as Fate was able to clean house and get that victory.
They just got a straight flush, if we're talking in card terms. There was, it went from a situation where I was like, oh lord, Shizou are popping off. But Fate didn't give up once during that entire game. You could see their tenacity and their playstyle and how much they wanted to win that game. They were on, they were of course on Shizou's map, so they wanted to show that that was their right choice. They
wanted to show that it's not only Shizou who can perform on Frog Isle. And what worked so well for Shizou when they played against Bloodlust, Maeve on that Eevee pick, it was Maeve could not have that same impact because whenever Eevee tried to flank onto the Strix, it was a very similar result. You get silenced by the Torvald, a shield being thrown onto Slashron. Slashron only needs to hit 2 shots or just 1 shot and spam that pistol. And that's, a dead Eevee for all intents and purposes. So I like that adaptation coming from Fate. And, yeah.
Yes.
We see why Torvald is banned a lot. That's what I'm trying to say. He really shuts down those ban competitions. But we've got 1 game left of week 3. Nearly there.
Let's actually look at the draft now. We're talking about it. And just before anybody says anything, just ignore the bans. Let's not talk about the bans because there's been a bit of miscommunication with the bans. So with the picks on both sides, TJ, what is going on for Fate?
So with Fate, we are ignoring the bans, as Wolfie says. So Fate, I believe I've got the right screen here. So they've gone for Willow, Makoa, Ying, Androxus, and Ashe for their team competition. And what is Shizou responding?
What? Are you on Jaguar Falls? You need to look at if it's the Jaguar Falls map, because Fate Esports have Maldamba, Ash, Drogos, Torvald, and Strix. There's no Willow in this game.
This is a bit of a disaster right now because this is the Frog Isle draft. Because there's the Eevee and Androxus.
Oh lordy, yes.
We made a boo-boo. It's a disaster.
Just like this entire week, this is the Ragnarok week number 3. I hope you all enjoy Ragnarok all over the place. But yeah, okay, let's go through to ignore what is there. I will just go back to the host and we will actually take the right draft because I have it here on screen. Good. On Fate, we have, as you said, Willow, Makoa, Ying, Androxus, and Ash.
Correct? Yes. That is what I'm seeing here. And on the side of Shazoo, we have Inara, Leon, Cassie, Furia, and Fernando. So staple picks here for Shazoo. We're seeing Leon, Cassie, Furia. What we're seeing it a lot, and again, it is sort of the jack of all trades composition here, and it is on Jaguar Falls as well. A map that we see a lot because there's so many team compositions and styles of play that fit Jaguar Falls. There's a reason why it's called Jaguar freaking Falls, and why we see it a lot. But looking at these drafts, that Willow getting through, we saw how impactful that was for Leviathan against ID. And I think it's going to have a very similar impact here as well. It's a good map for Willow. And I'm going to stick with my guns, and I'm going to make Jay happy because, once again, I see Fate getting victory here based on this draft. But Shazoo, we know they're going to put up a hell of a fight.
Hell of a fight, hell all over the place. Like, they are hell right now. They have been pulling off some really, really amazing plays. So we just have to wait and see if we can get the 2-0 for Fate, or if Shazoo will take the win and make it a draw. We will be right back with game number 2, the last game of today's sets here at Legacy League, here on Legacy League TV. This is week number 3. My name is WFGG, and our co-caster is the one and only, the real TJ DJ. See you soon. Ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between, welcome to the last game of today's Legacy League, week number 3 between Shazoo and Fate Esports. Let's go through to the rosters. Chubby Plum on the side of Fate is playing Life Exchanging, Andromius on the Fortress Breaker Ash, Slashwine on the Nightshade, Willow, Bloxer on the Headswell Roll, and Droxus and Lentry on the Leviathan Makoa.
Shazoo are your team in red. Apple Daddy playing the Treasure Squad and Nara. Mo with the Scorch. Fernando. Aztec playing Impulse Cassie. Maeve with the Death and Taxis Liana. Midnight May playing that Solar Blessing Furia. And we're underway.
That was perfectly timed. They just got out of the gate when we've discussed or announced the rosters. And the fight is already beginning with Shazoo already just poking the point and forcing Fate out to play.
Yeah, we're just seeing here Shazoo starting off this game as they did on Frog Isle. They have control at the point. They're poking out Fate, but Apple finding himself a bit low here. Fortress Breaker is down to a Biodrift a bit of time, but he's just melting here in passes used defensively as Apple Daddy will fall to Slashwine. Moa, extremely low health, less than 400 HP, goes down to Bloxer. Lentry getting the kill onto Aztec, but Tracer's live as Midnight May gets the killing blow. Fate Esports already are able to turn the fight around and get 3 quick kills. Maeve goes down to Andromius as well to keep this train going as Chubby Plum is left to capture the point. 60.
Sorry, but Bloxer, he was waiting for 6 seconds for Midnight May to die because he was just waiting to get passively healed up, and it worked just as well. Fate, though, are on the point, and they will hereby capture the first point here on Jaguar Falls.
Yeah, I'm unlucky there by Moa. Well, when Fernando pulls up his shield, you do lose a bit of movement speed, and so he was unable to get the shield up and also go to the point at the same time. But a small mistake there. It's more like Fate able to get control at a point than that being aimed by Moa. But it's fine. We are only 2 minutes into the game. Bloxer's going to be taken down as he inflames Leon with the auto aim, takes down Bloxer. Lentry is going to go on a bit of a rampage here, taking down Midnight May, loses his life to Apple Daddy. Slashwine drops down to Maeve as well. Maeve is a man on a mission. He is not happy about being silenced that last game. You will not quell Maeve on this Leon with the auto aim. He is wanting blood.
He will not stay silenced. I have a dream. That was what Maeve was thinking to himself as he went into game number 2 here. Lentry over on the left side being pressured. He needs to get back on track because the whole side of Shazoo are holding them back. From each side, they need to group up, and that's definitely what they're gonna do. As Slashwine is activating his Faith Flight, it will be countered by Enlightenment though, and that makes a 1-for-1 exchange there for those 2 damage dealers.
Yeah, but the kills keep coming through here. That's a team wipe for the side of Fate as they push forward into Shazoo's base. Lentry positioning on this right side. You've got Andromius on the left side. Blocks are getting a few pot shots off from the little hut. Apple Daddy trying to push forward, get a bit of pressure, just try and do an Inara things. Can't. That health is too low and she's forced away immediately. Mavis pushed back as well, and Andromius does get the killing blow onto Apple Daddy. Lentry has got the Ancient Rage. Moa drops. He did have that ultimate though. There goes Maeve as well, and Fate just roll the car into the base of Shazoo, and this is the opposite. It's the opposite of Frog Isle. It's Fates that start off strong.
How many times do you have to do this in a row before I can, like, I have told you, Chubby Plum, you are consistent, but stop proving it all the time. 0-0 and 12, he's always 0-0 and full of assists every single time I see him. He is so brilliant at being a support. He might be one of my favorite support players here in this league. He is definitely showing why he is the support of Fate Esports holding up strong, and that has definitely held Fate Esports at a favorable advantage.
Yeah, so I think, yeah, I can't really add to what you're saying. You pretty much hit the nail on the spot. Chubby Plum has just been consistent, and that's what you want from your support. Lentry is going to push forward and activate that Ancient Rage, but Chubby Plum, curse of the casters, mate. We sing his praises, and then he finds himself caught out of position by Maeve. But Fate Esports are able to cover the mistake very well. Blocks getting a kill onto Midnight May and Maeve. Apple Daddy dropping down to Andromius. This is a Fate point so far. Shazoo aren't able to get through. They do have the Immortal, though. So that is something that Shazoo can use to their advantage if they're able to get through. There is that Immortal. But they can't get onto the point, though. Fate are just zoning too well as Mo is trying to make a push for the objective and is hooked away and denied. The Kane came through from stage left and put the Kane around the neck and just yanked him off of the stage. But Fate capturing that point. It's 3-0.
Wow, Fate, you are popping off right now. You're definitely showing why you are here. Lentry getting healed up by Chubby Plum. He doesn't survive, though. He goes down to Moa, while Bloxer is getting a hold onto Apple Daddy. Now he will push up together with his squad, getting a little bit of pressure onto tanks as well as backline damage dealers. He's not afraid to move forward. He isn't afraid of anything. And there we go, pushing back and forth and just disengaging when needed. But Maeve will definitely have an advantage for that kill on Slashwine.
Yeah, the enlightenment there as Moa goes down onto Lentry. So Shazoo trying to be aggressive. They want to make the plays. Bloxer is looking for Maeve, though, as getting that kill. Lentry behind as well. Aztec forced back as Lentry is on a rampage with this Makoa. Dredgeanchor onto the support. Midnight May falls to Andromius. There's the assert dominance. Used very aggressively to go and get the kill. Double kill for Andromius. Aztec goes down. Apple Daddy falls as well to Slashwine. Fate Esports keep their train rolling as Shazoo are corralled into their spawn. 90% left on this push. It's looking dire. It's going to need a miracle. But what? It's too much.
What?
Unfortunately, Furia was unable to get onto that point, though. The untargetable body in flames, but it just wasn't enough. Fate are going to seal the victory and all the points they take. The final set of week 3, 2-0 over Shazoo.
I am absolutely mind blown. Like, I'm mind blown. You saw the first game. You saw what happened. Then we look at this game and I'm like, wait, am I having déjà vu? The pain, you know, that throbbing pain of having a Willow just continuing on the pressure, and you're like, Fate. Oh, I love you for picking that. It's such an annoying thing to play against. And it worked in Fate's favor, granting them the win. And I'm surprised. I didn't expect him to get a full-on win. As I said, I trusted in a draw. But that didn't happen, did it now?
No, Fate just very clinical and very clean. The only real concern there was at the start of the Frog Isle game, but that was brushed. Excuse me. That was brushed aside very quickly. I've been drinking too much water just to keep up with the intense games going on, not having a chance to breathe. Please excuse my rude manners. All right, calm down, Wolfie. Okay. Well, we're here. We finally made it. We have streamed all games that was due to be played here on week 3. So let's just go over the results from today, Wolfie.
I am fixing them as we speak.
Okay, well, I'll watch you do that. So, first game, Brewfisher vs. Crisis. Crisis took 2-0 away from Brewfie, still looking for their first win of the tournament. Leviathan vs. Infected Dragons, and one of the closest games and one of the funnest games I've ever had the pleasure of casting on Serpent Beach. But Leviathan take the game. 2 games off Infected Dragons, and they will get all the points there. And then what we've just seen, Fate versus Shazoo, and Fate just doing Fate for things and keeping the train rolling. Jay, you're going to be very happy with your guys on Fate as they take 2-0 over Shazoo. We build up week 3 as this super important week where the leaderboards could go anywhere. And I don't think it's disappointed.
Definitely not. Because we have it up in a minute, very, very soon. Sorry, I'm doing the production. My name is Eugene. No, let's not go into Eugene. Let's actually just forget he existed. But here we have the leaderboards. And we have on top Bloodlust due to their forfeit win against Ico Esports. Then on second place, Leviathan. Third place goes to Fate Esports. Fourth place is Crisis. They've been pulling up some standings right here. Yasu going from second place to fifth. Ico going down a few notches as well. Seventh place goes to Infected Dragons. And then we have my boys at Brutal Fisher on 8th place.
So last week we had, I believe it was 4 teams that were all tied up with 4 points each. And yeah, this week has definitely shaken up the leaderboards. But so far, no team is running away with it. Bloodlust, obviously, looking the strongest on 8 points, but Leviathan, Fate, and Crisis are hot on their heels. Bloodlust cannot afford to lose their form next week as we go into week 4. But for now, we shall breathe, relax. Week 3 is over.
Yeah, thank the Lord. I'm ready for a miracle, ready as I can be. That's how I feel right now, because we're finally... Yes, I'm finally going to relax a bit. I've been a little bit stressed, and of course that has been showing in some of the graphics. I apologize on my end. I will definitely make it better next time. But until then, on Saturday, when we will run again at the normal time, as always, we will definitely have some interesting sets going on. You will be able to look at the sets on the Legacy League GameSports Gamespotspedia page. It has been posted a few times by our bot. And what were you about to say, my friend?
No, really, just I guess we're just on closing words here, to be honest. And we're gonna look forward to week 4 and hope it brings all the trials and tribulations and a roller coaster of emotions that we've experienced just on this week. Yeah, so I'd like to first of all thank Woofy. You know, we've been put in the spot where it's just the 2 of us running week 3, but I hope we did the best we could. So thank you, Woofy, for keeping your cool throughout and trying to just keep on going. Shout outs to you, and also shout outs to everyone involved with the MLL. This has been a crazy week.
Yeah. Thank you so much to both the players participating in the league, as well as GGJ for creating this very league that you're watching right here on Legacy League TV. We have been having so much fun, and we can't wait to show you more. See you around for week 4 on Saturday. Reruns will be running during the week. Thank you so much for watching, and see you around for week 4.
See you on the flip side, folks.